Morning to my main man, Ganaways, and all your honorary Ganaway brothers. All right, back at it. The Three Musketeers. We left Gaston was going to be on his way to Paris after getting into a fight, getting his butt whooped, getting his stuff stolen. This young proud man is not having a good start at going out to become a musketeer. So we're going to start with today, where we left off yesterday, Chapter 2, The Captain of the Musketeers. As D'Artagnan entered the courtyard of Monsieur de Treville's headquarters, he gazed admiringly at the noisy groups of musketeers everywhere. Some were practicing their dueling, others were standing in groups, drinking and talking and joking. The jokes seemed to be about the Cardinal's guard, who were the rivals and sometimes enemies of the King's musketeers. When D'Artagnan reached the main door of the building, he asked the guard on duty to announce him to Monsieur de Treville. Within minutes, the captain of the musketeers came to the door. He motioned for D'Artagnan to go upstairs to his office, then stuck his head out of the door, calling loudly, "Athos, Porthos, Aramis." Two musketeers left the group and followed Treville into the office, passing in front of D'Artagnan, who stood just inside the door. The musketeers stood at attention while their captain paced back and forth. Suddenly Treville stopped and turned to them angrily. "Gentlemen," he cried, "His Eminence, the Cardinal, has reported to me that 3 of my men started a riot yesterday in a wine shop, and his guards had to arrest them. Don't deny it was you, for you were recognized. You, Porthos, you, Aramis, and you... Where is Athos? I called him in here as well." "Sir," said Aramis sadly, "Athos is ill." "Wounded, more likely," said Treville. "Well, sir," said Porthos, "there were 6 guards against 3 of us. We fought well. Athos, however, was seriously wounded in the chest and right shoulder, but we all managed to escape." "So the cardinal only told me half the story," said Treville, smiling proudly. At that moment the door opened and all heads turned towards it. "Athos!" cried Monsieur de Treville. "You sent for me, sir?" said Athos weakly. "Yes, my boy. I was about to tell your friends that you are not to risk your lives needlessly, but I am proud of all of you." Treville reached out to shake Athos's hand. He did not notice the murmur of pain that escaped from the brave musketeer's lips. He was busy congratulating Porthos and Aramis as well. Once the musketeers were dismissed, he turned to D'Artagnan. "Now, my boy, what can I do for the son of my oldest friend?" "Monsieur," said D'Artagnan, "I had come here to ask to join the musketeers, but now I don't think I'm worthy of such an honor." "No one can become a musketeer until they have performed a great act of courage, or until they have served 2 years in a lower regiment to get his training. If only I had the letter of introduction, you'd see that I need no training, sir. But that letter was stolen on my way here." That's the kind of proof that he doesn't need training. D'Artagnan then went on to tell Treville of his adventure to Meung and to describe the stranger who stole his letter. "Tell me, D'Artagnan," said Treville, "did this man have a scar on his face?" "Yes, on his right cheek." "And was the patch over his left eye?" "Yes, sir, I am certain." "And did you hear the woman's name?" "He called her Milady." "And the instructions he gave her?" "The cardinal wished her to return to England and inform him if the Duke of Buckingham left London." "It is he! It is he!" cried Treville. "Oh, sir, please tell me who this man is," pleaded D'Artagnan. "I must have my revenge." "No, do not go looking for him ever. Put aside these ideas of revenge out of your mind, and I shall write a letter admitting you to the regiment I spoke of. You'll make a fine cadet, I'm sure." Treville sat at his desk and began to write. Meanwhile, D'Artagnan strolled over at the window and looked out. Suddenly he jumped away and rushed to the door, shouting, He shall not escape me this time." "Who? Who?" asked Treville, startled. "The man who stole my letter," cried D'Artagnan as he disappeared out the door. already not following instructions from Captain of the Musketeers. Chapter 3, Three Duels. Excuse me. D'Artagnan was in a rage as he bounded down the stairs. He didn't notice the musketeer on the landing until he ran headlong into him. "Excuse me," said D'Artagnan, trying to get by. "I'm in a hurry." "Just because you're in a hurry," said the musketeer, blocking his way, "is no reason for you to run into me." "My God," said D'Artagnan, recognizing Athos, I did not hit against your wound on purpose. Now, please, let me pass." "I find you quite impolite," said Athos. "Well, you're hardly one to give me a lesson in manners. Then perhaps a lesson in dueling." "I'm ready to fight you. Tell me where." "Behind the Carmelite convent, at noon." D'Artagnan nodded and rushed down the stairs and into the courtyard. At the gate to the street stood Porthos and a guard. There seemed to be just enough room between the two men for D'Artagnan to pass through, so he darted into the opening. But at that moment a gust of wind caught the edge of Porthos' cloak and blew it across the opening. D'Artagnan found himself trapped inside the folds of the cloak. "Good Lord!" cried Porthos. "Are you a madman running into people like this?" "Excuse me, sir," said D'Artagnan, gazing up at the giant. "I'm in a great hurry." "And do you forget your eyes when you run? You deserve to be punished for this." "Punished, monsieur?" cried D'Artagnan. "And who exactly is going to punish me?" "I, monsieur," cried Porthos. "At 1 o'clock, behind the Luxembourg Gardens." "Very well," said D'Artagnan, as he rushed into the streets. He looked around. There was no sign of the stranger in any direction. He ran in and out of the side streets for over an hour, and finally gave up the chase. "What a crack-brained idiot I am," he muttered to himself as he walked. "I've been in Paris only 3 hours, and already I've made a bad impression on Monsieur de Treville. I've set up two duels with musketeers who could easily kill me. If I somehow survive these duels, I must remember to be more polite in the future." At that moment he looked up and saw Aramis talking to 3 guards at the courtyard gate. D'Artagnan would not have dreamed of interrupting them if he had not seen Aramis drop his handkerchief and step on it. He knew it was there. He stepped on it. Wishing to be of help, D'Artagnan rushed up to him, bent down, and pulled the handkerchief out from under his foot. He held it out to Aramis, and in the most polite voice said, "I believe, sir, that you have lost your handkerchief." Aramis turned red and grabbed the lace from D'Artagnan's hand. The scent of its perfume reached the guards. "Aha, Aramis!" cried one of the guards. "A lace handkerchief embroidered with a crown, a gift from one of the Queen's ladies in waiting, no doubt. Tell us about her." Realizing that he embarrassed Aramis, D'Artagnan tried to apologize. I hope you will excuse me, sir." "Excuse you?" cried Aramis. "Any fool should know that a gentleman doesn't step on a lady's handkerchief unless he's hiding it." "A fool, you say?" shouted D'Artagnan. I did try to apologize, sir." "There's only one way to apologize for such an insult," said Aramis. "My sword will be ready at 2 o'clock behind the church." "And so will mine," said D'Artagnan. Ah, idiot. It was almost noon, and he hurried to keep his appointment with Athos. Well, he thought, if I'm to be killed today, at least it will be by a musketeer. Yeah, sure. When D'Artagnan reached the bare plot of land behind the convent, he found Athos already there waiting. They greeted each other, and Athos said that his second would be there, arriving at any moment. "I have no second, sir," said D'Artagnan. "No one to witness the duel for me, for I only arrived in Paris this morning, and I know no one. But I shall be honored to cross swords with a brave musketeer who fights even though his wounds pain him." You really shouldn't have told him that he doesn't have a second. He's getting in a fight with someone who intends to kill him. Why not just kill him right there without witnesses? He's very lucky. Foolish child. Ah, back to the story. It does hurt like the devil, said Athos. Perhaps then you will accept the salve I brought from Gascony. My mother makes it herself, and it heals any wounds in 2 days. That is very kind of you, said Athos, with a smile on his mouth. I have the feeling that if we don't kill each other in this duel, we shall become good friends. Ah, here come my seconds now. D'Artagnan turned and saw 2 musketeers approaching. Your seconds are Porthos and Aramis, he cried. Why, yes, said Athos. We are never seen one without the other. All Paris knows us as the 3 Musketeers. Our motto is one for all and all for one. What is he doing here? Cried Porthos, as he came closer and saw D'Artagnan. This is the gentleman I am to duel, said Athos. But I am to fight him too, said Porthos. And I as well, added Aramis. Then, Monsieur Athos, said D'Artagnan, let us begin. I do not wish to keep my other worthy opponents waiting. The 2 men drew their swords, but hardly had the swords clicked twice than a group of cardinal's guards turned the corner. Sheathe your swords quickly, called Porthos. They will try to enforce the cardinal's orders against dueling. But it was too late. The guards approached and ordered them under arrest. There are 5 of them, said Athos quietly, and we are only but 3. But I would rather die here than face Monsieur de Treville defeated by his guards again. Gentlemen, interrupted D'Artagnan, you are not 3, we are 4. Saved his butt. I might not wear the uniform of a musketeer, but I have the heart of one. Well then, cried Athos, forward! One for all and all for one, they shouted together as they lunged at the cardinal's guards. D'Artagnan fought like a tiger, proud to be dueling alongside the brave musketeers. Within minutes they had killed 4 of the guards and wounded the 5th. That is enough, said Athos. Let us help this wounded man to the steps of the convent, and then be on our way. The 3 musketeers took D'Artagnan's arm, and together they walked along, taking the whole width of the street. They greeted every musketeer they met along the way with shouts of one for all and all for one, and introduced their new friend. This was a victory march that filled D'Artagnan's heart with joy. He was on his way to becoming a king's musketeer. All right. Next time, look forward to chapter 4.